Let's go look at the socketed stuff. So the socketed stuff is still really early work in progress stuff. Because the idea with the whole socketed stuff is to not do the same shit that potions and enchants already do. I want unique stuff for socketed gem things. And I do want to take inspiration from Diablo a bit because I love Diablo's socketing system. But it'd be really neat to do unique stuff like aura that causes, and this is configurable, but like mobs within 10 blocks will get the glowing effect so you can see them through walls and shit. That's a unique, we don't have that anywhere else in the game, you know what I mean? So we want to do cool unique stuff like that with socketed stuff. There's going to be basic gem things to boost weapons, which would be like, I do want to follow a little bit in the footsteps of like rubies add a little fire damage, sapphires add a little freezing damage, ice damage, which is going to be more prevalent with the whole DDD system coming out, which is distinct damage descriptions, where every mob in 2.10 are now going to have unique resistances and vulnerabilities to elemental damages. So like, for example, cinders, just, you know, elemental mob, it's a fire mob. It is completely immune to fire. It already is in Lycanites, but we can specify damage types and do fire damage and say this damage does nothing now. You know what I mean? Like if you have a sword that only does fire damage, well, it's not going to do anything to a cinder. But the upside is cinders have 100% vulnerability to frost damage, so they take twice as much from that. So this is going to add more cool situational stuff where it's like, oh, I can whip out my frost sword to fucking one shot. Yeah. This is the other thing that I want to kind of combine with the socket system is like, I've always wanted Diablo style drops, examples like uniquely named weapons like we have with the stuff that generates in like roguelikes, for example.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to do things like that. Okay, I have the mod. Here we go, booting up the game.
So
all right, Nishon, what do I do?
It's Funny's mod.
Bonnie, what do I do?
Just
well, I haven't tested the loot stuff, but if you just
wait, it's Fawny's mod. Why was I talking to you, Nisham, about how I wanted this to work then?
I did some mechanics and Funny did the backbone.
I see. Okay, max amount of sockets on loot 6, I guess.
The overall max is 8.
Okay, so these pants now say sockets 0 of 5. Oh, that's cool.
You could get a socket tool and open it and put the pants in.
Socketing tool. Okay, and you put the pants in. Oh, and you have the different socket types. So a blue, amber.
Golden is tier 2. The blue is tier 3.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have the socketing thing as a tool. I would probably make it a block, like a, you know, anvil or something. And then what do we have as sockets? You said like diamonds work right now?
Yeah. It'll, when you mouse over it, it'll tell you in the tooltip.
Oh, so diamond imbued in socket is +2, 2 +3. I do wish there was an easy way to show it's a range. It's gonna be, yeah. So I can go boom, 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 boom. There we go. We have socketed diamond leggings that are now 26 armor, should be, I guess. Doesn't add the armor in real time to the like 16 locational armor stat.
It's a to-do thing to be an item attribute instead of a player attribute.
This is the idea though. This is the concept. I have wanted this for a long time. It is going to be quite the balancing act, but it's sick. You know what I mean? So,
now, grab a helmet.
Helmet and glowstone.
Helmet and glowstone. Oh, is that the... Okay, helmet. Boom. Oh, I guess the gray socket is tier 1.
Yeah, gray is 0. Silver is 1.
Okay, I don't want a 0. I want to just go 1, 2, 3. Because 0 is that's kind of silly for that. Also, no one's going to know what these colors mean. You know what I mean? So I want to hover over this and have it say, oh, this is a tier 2 socket. You know, hover over this, say it's a tier 1 socket. Oh, this is the test for entities. It's like, this can go anything? Yeah. So this makes entities glow around me if I get close enough. Look at that. How long does it give it to them?
It's as long as you're in the range.
Yeah. Because like, well, if I fly away, they still have it for like a second. We can also change the radius of this. Oh yeah, so like, look, this just showed me. There's a zombie on the ground here, you know. Yeah, we're adding X-ray to Minecraft.
Yeah, redstone, emerald, lapis.
Oh, you're doing like a rune word. Okay, so did you do the thing where it has to be exact?
I changed it to not exactly 3 sockets, just order.
Oh, this doesn't have a name.
Because I spent so long.
Oh,
trying to
lapis
figure out
for
why it wasn't
enchanting
working.
power.
Yeah, that
we're
isn't-
adding an attribute for that.
Things out of
It's
balance with
just an
that.
idea.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
common
the
socket.
sockets
So
are
it
shit.
won't go in it.
Oh, it won't go in. Yeah, I actually can't do it.
You rolled a shitty item.
All right, hold on.
Just spawn in a chest plate and run the command socketed add generic, and just run that like 3 times. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Now,
what?
that's cool.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, generic accepts anything.
boom.
So.
RG what? Did it work? I don't think it worked.
Yeah. No, it has extra effects. Like you
Yeah.
see the normal effects below, and then above there's the rune word. Like this is an example of a rune word where the effects are additional, so they don't
Yeah.
replace the original effects, but they.
Do
Add
the
The rune
same
word
thing.
is RGB effects.
Yes.
right.
Oh.
Do a sword with 3 diamonds. That one replaces the original effects.
Okay. Could have been a diamond pick. Yeah, +9 attack damage. I can barely read that because of the dark blue text, but yeah. 2 tips are gonna be crazy with DDD and sockets. Yeah, that is a worry. We're gonna have to like make sure it looks clean. I wonder if you could get even crazier and instead of adding tooltips to the existing tooltip that comes up, if it's socketed, could you have a secondary tooltip like branching off of this one that shows the sockets separately? Okay, can you see me drawing on the screen like this? You're hovering over your diamond sword, right? And it shows these tooltips, but it has sockets. It shows the main tooltip just like this, and then coming off the side, like
Nice color.
a side window like that, you know, that has the socket information. You know what I'm saying? So it's like still part of the tooltip, but it's like actually a separate like branch off tab window kind of, you know what I mean?
I figured for now it was just gonna be a hold shift to display additional information sort of thing.
For now, we can do that, yeah. Gems are removable, aha. So that I would probably make it like Diablo where it's like a permanent thing. And that would allow me, doing that way, would allow me to make sockets more common, right? So there's 2 things going on here that could be interesting. You have this kind of set up with the whole like circular system, which I like, but rune words were pretty simple to understand in Diablo because Diablo was like, you just slide it into the thing in order and it auto places like in like a row. You couldn't choose what socket it went in, right? So when people are making rune words, I can see it being confusing and them not knowing where to start the word.
My
I mean,
to-do
on this
would
UI,
be-
you could add a number. You could literally add a number and number these.
Yeah, but my to-do is to make it so that like the number doesn't really matter. Like you could start it anywhere in the circle as long as it's in order.
I do like this circular layout. It's cool. What I was going to say, the other thing that this layout opens up is you could literally have different effects for if you put a diamond at the top socket versus at the bottom socket. You know what I mean? You could go really overcomplicated with it. I don't know if I want to necessarily. I don't think I want to, but I think I'm just throwing out that you've opened up that possibility, you know, with this layout. You could even draw patterns, right?
So you could do that right now. It would be
You
defining a redstone and 4 diamonds, set it to require order and require socket count.
Okay, he's gonna hide $1,000. So I was considering if I want to do rune words, I was literally thinking about using the Quark runes, not just the base rune, but using my own loot table and NBT stuff. I could have these runes generate that it's like orange rune, this letter. So it's like a specific rune that you know is like, here's a letter I can start spelling words with, right?
I mean, you could also just make custom runes.
Yeah, I could also just make my own. But it's like we already have these, so it's like I was thinking of ways to just like kind of use them. It's kind of think about how I'm gonna do it and balance everything. Yeah, I mean,
You could get pretty wild with the config stuff if you want to open the JSONs.
you really want me to open a JSON.
Yeah. I want you to see the pain you're gonna struggle with.
All right, here. You guys can take a look. Nishama showed me this before, which, yeah, it's straightforward. It makes sense. Knowing what all the variables are, I'm going to need like a key, you know, like a legend to reference. Yeah, this is going to be neat. I'm excited. I am excited. It's just gonna be a lot of work. Diamond blocks and blue runes to make a big gem. Right. Like I was almost thinking about like instead of diamonds being socketable, you'd have like pure diamond or perfect diamond as like a separate item that you have to craft using multiple diamonds and something special. I didn't want to do 5 tiers, right? Because Diablo has chip diamond, flawed diamond, diamond, flawless diamond, and then perfect diamond, right? They have the 5 tiers. I think that's a little too much for RLCraft, so I would probably do 3. Flawed, flawless, and perfect is kind of what I was leaning more towards. And then, yeah, you have the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 sockets where it's like tier 1 could only accept flawed or the, you know, common. And then tier 2 is common and uncommon. Tier 3 is anything, you know, up to the legendary or whatever, right? More Diablo, my RLCraft ice cream is always welcome. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like I've wanted to do for a while like that. Yeah, this is neat. This is neat. I wanna come up with a fun rune words and socket ideas and things. This will be fun.